morning, Center for Spiritual Living, Palm Desert. How is everybody on this gorgeous August morning? Woo! Love the heat, love the heat. We're one day closer to it not being hot. Just keep that in your consciousness. Well, Dr. Joe isn't here today, and I don't know where he is. I know he's not here. And we've got Reverend Laura here today. So oh yeah, woo! So you're going to be lifted 10 feet off the ground and into that right level of consciousness. So before we get started, let's say our mission and vision statement. We'll just say it together. Here we go. We are a positive faith community that accepts all religions. Our vision is spiritual awakening and personal growth in a world that works for everyone. Our mission is to help individuals discover the spiritual tools and inner power that has the ability to transform lives and make the world a better place. And so it is. That's big, big responsibility we have, but we can do it. So I have like 2 announcements to do today, and I said, God is shining its light upon me. And what they are today, we've got our book drive that we're doing, a backpack drive for the kids that don't have the means to be able to have backpacks and pens and pencils and all that good stuff they need for schools. So we are doing our annual collection of book bags and all that stuff for schools. And you can see boxes out in the front of the lobby area, in front of the sanctuary. Please bring your donations. You guys have already done amazing in the donation department. But if you haven't done so yet and you want to be a part of this drive, please bring your stuff and we will get it to the right kids. And for those of you that don't know, we have an arrangement with Amazon.com where we get 5% of any of your purchases. And so all you have to do is go to the Amazon site and you go to the Smile tab and you can register with Center for Spiritual Living Palm Desert, and 5% of anything that you buy will come to our center. So it's a great way for us to get more revenue so that we can do what we love to do here and be able to supply everybody with this spiritual enlightenment that I know you all love. So go ahead and do that. It's super easy. And that's it. Okay. Woo-hoo. Thank you. I'm going to turn it over to Jerry Lynn to introduce our guest artist today.
Thank you, Dale. Good morning. Happy Sunday, you all. How you doing? Good?
Yeah.
Good? Yes? No? Well, you're going to be doing great after this. All right, we have our one of my favorite performers that comes here and shares his great original music with you. It's Mr. Harold Payne in the house today. Please put your hands together for Harold Payne. Come on up, dog.
Right here, right now, we are all connected somehow. Even a whisper in the dark becomes a prayer that reaches out and touches your heart. A rising tide lifts us all. Every drop of water helps to keep the flow. When you make a ripple in the river of life, we will all be lifted by the rising tide. We all have dreams. A world where we can live in peace. Each act of kindness builds a bridge that leads us to the common ground between our differences. A rising tide lifts us all. Every drop of water helps to keep the flow. When you make a ripple in the river of life, we will all be lifted by the rising tide. I'm holding on to what I know that we can be. In a sea of possibility. Oh, a rising tide lifts us all. Every drop of water helps to keep the flow. When you make a ripple in the river of life, we will all be lifted. Lifted by the rising tide. It's gonna lift us all. Every drop of water helps to keep the flow. When you make a ripple in the river of life, we will all be lifted. Lifted by the rising tide. Lifted by the rising tide. Gonna be lifted. Lifted by the rising tide. Oh, yeah. Lifted by the rising tide. Oh, we're gonna be lifted. Lifted by the rising tide. Lifted by the rising tide. Thank you.
Thank you. I love that. Lifted by, when we each, we're all part of that. We come here every Sunday, so to kind of get that tide a little higher, and we're all those ripples. I love that. Thank you. That was very beautiful. So we're going to go into our quiet time. I'm sure Dr. Joe's not having a quiet time on that cruise in Alaska. But we know he's having a good time, and so are we. So let's just take a deep breath in. And if there's anything that's bothering you, just let it go. Just be here in this moment. This is that precious, precious moment. Connect with that divinity that is always within you as we go into the silence.
Oh, to Spirit I surrender. All to Thee I freely give. I will ever love and trust You. In Your presence daily live. All to Spirit I surrender. All that's good is wholly mine. In Your presence, in this oneness, through You I am power divine. I surrender all. I surrender all to Thee, my blessed Spirit. I surrender
I am divinely guided to be here in this moment, in this presence of all the love and the connectedness that this sanctuary gives us. And I know that we are here by the one life, by the one power that animates our life, that keeps us going, that is always ever present, that is back of everything, all situations. All the good, all the compassion, and all the love is from this loving spirit. And I am created to express this love. My soul was created to express God, and that's why I'm here. I know that God is always present in my life, in every situation. Everything is animated in my life by God. I know that I create from the deepest part of my soul a vibrational field around myself. I know that this field is full of compassion and love and caring, and I automatically connect to all those that enter my field. I see the beauty and the joy and the love and compassion in all people. And I know the only barrier in my field is the one that I create with my thoughts. I consciously now choose to remove the barriers of hate, fear, resentment, judgment. And I know that once these are removed, the good flows from me and my field shines brightly. I become a light to the world, and my light influences the whole world. My one little light, my one little vibrational field changes everything in some way, in some part. So I choose not to criticize or judge anyone or anything that is occurring outside of me, because I understand that the good is flowing from within me. And I open up my heart and receive it fully. I'm ready at every moment for the good that is abundantly mine, always, always, eternally mine. And I'm so grateful for the harmony and the peace and the joy that I feel when I'm in this field. And I know that this is a consciousness that I could drift, but I don't. I stay in gratitude. I stay in gratitude. And I'm so grateful for the harmony and the beauty of the music that is part of this program and that creates this vibrational field throughout this sanctuary, bringing all of our souls and all of our connectedness into alignment. And I'm so grateful for Reverend Laura and Dale and all the people that make it possible for this to occur, that this perfect place for us to come and connect our souls and feel that connection vibrantly, fully, and completely. I release my word to the law of mind, knowing that it is already done, that it is already complete. I turn to God, and God turns to me. If these words resonate with you, please join me in saying, "And so it is." Amen.
I surrender all. I surrender all to Thee, my blessed Spirit. I surrender all.
So let's just take a deep breath in. And then just gently come back to the room and open our eyes.
I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready, my soul. Get ready, my soul.
I have the privilege of playing a lot of different New Thought churches, and I think you have the finest music director of all of them and the
Yes,
most
we
fabulous
do.
music team, really. Fantastic players, all well prepared. They know my songs better than I do. So I'll follow you. You turn the news on, you get your blues on from all the negativity. It's hard to wrap yourself around what's going down on TV. You can stress it, second guess it, you can think about it way too hard, or you can move the conversation from your head to your heart. Sometimes it's a matter of just letting go and holding on to the one thing we know. Love wins, love wins. That's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson we're learning again and again. Love wins. We all matter. It doesn't matter if we're on one side or the other, as long as we have a chance to get along with one another. We can't agree to disagree, or maybe even realize that we see another point of view when we look through someone else's eyes. Sometimes it's as easy as just letting go and holding on to the one thing we know. Love wins, love wins. That's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson we're learning again and again. Love wins whenever you give it a chance. It is the one hope that everyone has to build a better world for us all. Love wins, love wins. That's where the circle of life begins. It's the one simple lesson we're learning again and again. Love wins. That's where it all begins. Love wins. We learn it again and again. Love wins. Oh, oh, oh. Love wins. Love is a lesson. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Love wins. Oh, 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 yeah. Love wins. Oh, 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 oh. Love wins.
That's where it all began.
Love wins.
Harold Payne, everyone.
Oh, Carol, I love that. Thank you. That was really good. I wish that was the name of my talk. It goes with my, I love that better than my top title today. Thank you. That is so beautiful. Oh, what's that one? Love wins. It always wins. And Jerry Lynn, I haven't seen you since you got back from Hawaii. Aloha. You had a good time? Oh, I'm sure. And I had a fabulous weekend last week with my baby, my little Olivia. It was wonderful. But so the theme for August is a world that works for everyone, which is actually our vision, our mission for the whole organization. And today's topic is compassion in action. And I thought, oh, God, what am I going to talk about this week? I think Reverend Joe goes on vacation and looks at the topics and go, I think I'll take that week off. Because I thought, okay, I don't want to come out here and really preach about, we should all be Mother Teresa and, we should, but so I really had to do some soul searching on it. Not that that's not a bad thing. It'd be wonderful if we were all like her. So let's say our affirmation for today. Today, I celebrate my oneness with all of life. I bring compassion into action in this day, and love becomes my way. Amen. So I got this. I went in, and I kind of have some reverberation or something going on. Anyway, I found this on Wikipedia. Compassion motivates people to go out of their way to help the physical, spiritual, or emotional hurts and pains of another. And I thought, what a beautiful, beautiful description of what compassion is. And I really believe compassion is the ultimate expression of love. It is a way that we can actively express our love. It's more than just a feeling. It is an action that we can take in that. So, life is a mirror and will reflect back to the thinker what he thinks into it. So how are you showing up in the world with your compassion, the way you interrelate? Because everything is a mirror. In fact, if we really, really knew the truth about life, life is really nothing but smoke and mirrors. It really is, right? So we think things are really real, and we're the ones that label things good or bad. And what we're learning in my Do You Quantum Think, it's not either or, it's and both. And so from both perspectives, it's the truth. It's the truth. But it's what you see it as that is your truth. Doesn't mean it is the ultimate truth, but it is your truth. So if you're thinking negative thoughts, if you're thinking beliefs of scarcity or lack, that is going to be what you bring into your life. And so we want to be very careful. When somebody comes up or says something that irritates you, like the nails on the chalkboard, they're doing you a favor. I know it doesn't feel that way at the time, but they're doing you a favor because they're giving you an opportunity to say, Why is that bothering me? What is it within me that I drew this person to me, this situation to me, and it's my opportunity to heal. So when you help another, you help yourself. We are all one within the one. We are all connected. The universal nature of God's love does not exclude anyone. All right, so there is this oneness, but we really have this illusion that that's your problem, that's not my problem. I don't care, I've got my own issues and so forth. And so we don't open our hearts, we don't sit with that, and we forget that we are all one. When one hurts, we all hurt. And so let's say our affirmation today. Today I celebrate my oneness with all of life. I bring compassion into action in this day, and love becomes my way. So, I love this. This is a quote by Ernest Holmes. If the philosophy of Christianity were lived, wars would cease, unhappiness would cease, economic problems would be solved, poverty would be wiped from the face of the earth, and man's inhumanity would be transmuted into a spirit of mutual helpfulness. Now, you would think Ernest wrote this like last week. But this was written probably in the 30s or 40s. And we as humans, we're still not getting it, And I thought about that. I thought, Jesus was the great master teacher. He taught us. He was probably one of the best ones for compassion. He taught us, and he said, love your neighbor as thyself. But we feel like we're isolated. We have this mentality, for the most part, that we are in a limited, there's only so much abundance. There's only so much that each one of us can do. And so when we look at the world and we go, there's people all over starving and homeless and this and that, and it seems kind of overwhelming. It's like, how much I can't solve it all. Look at Mother Teresa. Oh my God, here was this woman who lived her life in compassion. And what happened with that? People would pour money to her so that she could do her work. And, it's one thing to give lip service to say you're a Christian. And people ask us, well, are you Christian? And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Because I do believe our teaching, we really follow the teachings of Jesus. Now, we don't believe somebody died on the cross for our sins because we don't believe that there were sins for us to be forgiven when we, God didn't have birth. I know my daughter-in-law, her mother wants her to get her daughter baptized in the Catholic Church, and I'm fine with that. I was raised Catholic, but Tiffany, she has a different belief. She's very more spiritual, and her whole thing, and I remember this with my own child. When my oldest, Ryan, was born, I went to get him baptized, and because I had been raised Catholic, but my husband and I hadn't been married in the Catholic Church. And we got there to the day of the baptism, had him, my family's there, and the priest goes, oh, well, you weren't married in the Catholic Church. We can't baptize your child. And I'm like, what? My whole thing is, okay, you're more worried about me being married in the Catholic Church, but you're believing that this innocent child has sin on its soul, and if it dies, it's not going to go to heaven, and you're not going to baptize this child. And that was really probably the turning point for me in Catholicism. He did baptize me and said, well, you need to come back and get married, but, in the church. And I never, I didn't, but I did, but... So I'll just tell you this story. So then my second son comes along, and I am not going to go to that priest and have him baptized. And plus, I haven't got married in the Catholic Church yet. But at that time, my children were going to St. Teresa's, and Monsignor McGinn and I had gotten to be so close. And I went in there, and Corey's getting ready to start St. Teresa's, and I know he's got to make his first communion. He hasn't even been baptized, And so I went in there, and I told Father McGinn what had happened and why I didn't get him baptized because of my bad experience. He said, what are you doing Saturday? And so he said, I'll just marry your husband and baptize them all on the same day. So we went through the thing. And then a month later, my husband and I split up. And I had been married for 21 years. And so I would always tease Father McGee. I go, you know, my marriage was just fine until I got married in the Catholic Church. But anyway, so it's the way you look at things. And it's, have a sense of humor about life. We came here to have fun. Let's not be so serious about everything. So, right? And so, anyway, so I'm doing my time going, oh my God, what am I going to talk about? So, because I wanted to make this where it's really something that we can do every day to be compassionate. So I went and Googled, and it just so happens the Chopra Center had 15 ways to spread kindness, compassion, and action. So I thought, well, let's talk about those. So first one is offer your full attention to someone. That can be the most giving, compassionate thing you can do is when you're with somebody is to really be with them, right? And that's a feeling that you're showing them that you care about them. That's what compassion is just showing that you do care. Express sincere gratitude to a friend. Let them know how valuable they are in your life and what they mean to you in their life. That is a form of compassion in action. And what is compassion? When you boil it down to its true essence, it is love. It is that love, but it's expressing it. Take a photo of something beautiful and text it to someone in your life. Oh my God, look at what I just saw, and I want you to share that. We see it on Facebook all the time, but send it to somebody that you're thinking about. That might, just to let them know that they're in your heart. Detach from technology for 1 hour and look for opportunities to be helpful. Oh my God, we cannot get our face out of our little devices. We go even to a restaurant or something, and we're in there checking our Facebook. Look around, smile at people, engage, do something, open a door for somebody when you're out and about. So, and then number 5, arm yourself with a $5 bill in your pocket. So, we see so many homeless people that are struggling out there, but what was really interesting is, before I did this, it just happened that last week I had been going into a place and there was this person that I'm sure is homeless, but I've seen him around Palm Desert, and I also think he has some mental issues, and I think a lot of homeless people may be experiencing that. And he said, I could really use $1 for help. I really need some help. And I said, okay, and I reached in, I had a 1, but I gave him a 5, and he was like, wow, thank you. And so I was sharing this with my older son, Ryan, and he said, but Mom, he said, did you stop and talk to him and ask him what's going on with him? And, and maybe find out why he was in his predicament, And I go, wow, I never thought of that. He goes, well, Mom, you're a spiritual counselor. Maybe you could have given him some guidance. And, and that was something I didn't even think about. I thought I was doing my part, but, just to stop and say, so what's going on in your life, and anyway, so that's what I'm saying, being more aware from your heart about situations, and that is compassion in action. And so anyway, he taught me a really good lesson on that one. So today I celebrate my oneness with all life. I bring compassion into action in this day, and love becomes my way. And so really think about that. We celebrate our oneness. And it's that smoke and mirrors again. That's just you. When I reached in and I gave him the 5 instead of a 1, in my head I'm thinking, but for God, the grace of God, there go I. And you never know. If you were really down in your, in what was going on in your life, sudden things happen. To have somebody to have the compassion to help you out, I mean, what an awful job that is to have to stand on the corner and ask for money. And, and we don't know people's backstories. You can't say, oh, well, they're just lazy. They don't want. No, we don't know what it is. It's the same thing with people on drugs. A lot of them have depression issues, and there's just so much that we don't understand. But the more we judge things, the more power we give to that, and the more we will see of it. So we want to see more love in the world, so we need to be that love. So offer someone the benefit of the doubt. So I want to kind of talk to you. I understand last week Dr. Joe kind of talked about the money situation, and I heard some grumbling, some complaints about that. And I want you to have compassion. People say, well, Reverend Laura, why don't you have your own center? Because I want to tell you, Dr. Joe, when our Sunday donations go down, the pressure on Dr. Joe, because we pay for all these people, we pay for our staff, we have a lot of people that he feels responsible for. And he wasn't talking to those of you who are giving all you can give. We appreciate everything you can do, but he also knows that there are people here that throw in a $5 and they have a lot of money. And those were really the ones that he was talking to. So, but please have compassion for the pressure of a spiritual director of any center on the overhead and everything that goes on, and he is concerned about that. And so it's in other areas of your life. If somebody is short with you or snaps at you or is late for an appointment, you don't know the backstory to everything. And so when have you maybe been a little unconscious about something or been distracted and maybe didn't show up the way you maybe would have liked to and didn't even think about it, but you were stressed? So offer somebody the benefit of the doubt that they're not just trying to insult you or be mean to you or whatever, that there's a backstory, there's something going on in their life. That is compassion. Bring back snail mail and send a letter of encouragement. Right? We don't write those little notes. You may think, well, I have terrible handwriting. It's so much easier just to send off a text or an email. And that's nice, too. That's better than nothing. But to really take the time. I know my younger son when he would go out on interviews for jobs or whatever, I taught him send thank you notes by hand. And he has had people say to him, oh my God, they would call him, I couldn't believe you sent me that note. And people really notice that. That is love in action. That is compassion in action. It's those little things that we can do. You don't have to be out there, which is nice, feeding the homeless and doing things. That's wonderful. People need to do that. But we can do everyday little acts of compassion. Greet a stranger with a smile and a kind word. Okay? So if you're sitting here and you're sitting to somebody that you don't know, greet them when you're here Sunday. Introduce yourself. Say, hi, I'm Laura. How are you? What's your name? Greet them. Greet strangers with a smile. You go into the supermarket. Don't just walk through the aisle, with blinders on. When you see somebody smile and just say hi. It does, that's how we build community. That's how we build that connection. That's you saying, I love you to somebody, saying it to yourself. It's you giving out that love into that energy. It's like Cheryl's beautiful prayer about that field. We all create our own field. And so your field of love affects my field of love. And just as Harold said, that love causes a ripple and it raises that consciousness. It's those little things that you think maybe aren't that important. You think, oh, well, it's not solving world peace, world hunger. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. One little ripple at a time. And practice compassionate listening. Really sit with a friend. Sometimes they don't want your advice. They just need somebody to talk to. Listen with your heart. Open your heart and really be with somebody. And that's so important. We get so busy in our lives that we don't listen to one another. Just listen. Practice self-compassion and tend to your own suffering. All right? Don't ignore what you're going through either. Have compassion for yourself. Sit in that silence. Breathe. Feel that tension wherever it might be in your body and send that love to yourself, assuring yourself that you are never alone, that Spirit is always there with you, and this too shall pass. But be compassionate with yourself. So let's say together again, today I celebrate my oneness with all of life. I bring compassion into action in this day, and love becomes my way. Love becomes my way. That's what's so important. So have compassion for our planet. You know, if you're walking down the street and you see trash, pick it up. You know, when you're brushing your teeth, don't let the water stay. You know, turn off the water while you're brushing, turn it on when you rinse. But little things, but have compassion for our planet. And those are just the little things that we can do. Compliment a colleague or a loved one. All right? Thank somebody for doing a really good job. The statistics are that the ratio has to be 3 compliments to 1 criticism for an employee. And for a relationship, it needs to be 5 to 1. Those are statistics, okay? So you can get away with 1 criticism, but you better have 5 compliments. You know, and how easy is it for us to get in that it gets to be a habit when we start criticizing people or situations. Look for the good, you know, especially in relationships. You know, when we first start dating or we're first in the relationship, we first got married, we're just always telling them how wonderful they are. Oh, so cute. Then pretty soon it's like, oh my God, you're driving me crazy. Why do you always do that? You know, we forget, we don't see the things that they are wonderful at, and we focus on the negative. And what happens? What you focus on, you get more of. You're creating that negativity field. So we want to really consciously focus on their gifts, the beauty of people, and give them those compliments. You know, don't just say, oh, well, you know I love you. No, you haven't told me. You know, what is it you love? You know, so that's an important one. Set an intention to treat everyone with kindness today. Okay, that's your job this week and today, to set that intention to treat everyone with kindness. And, you know, it doesn't mean you might not slip up. I mean, just setting the intention is huge. To be conscious that, okay, this day I'm really going to focus on being kind to people. And just see what happens. It will change the day. It will change your life. Meet your neighbors. You know, I mean, I have to say, I live in a condo. I don't even know my neighbors. Well, half of them aren't even here right now. But it's true. You know, meet your neighbors. When you come out of your garage, say hi. You know, hey, you know, I'm Laura. What's your name? Just ask them. Just make that connection, because you never know when you might need to borrow a cup of sugar or something, you know. It's good to know who your neighbors are. And drive with patience. You know, let's reduce road rage. Oh, who are you pointing to over here? She's going, no. Yeah. Oh, now give her a compliment. Give her 5 compliments right now. I want 5. Yeah. But road rage, you know, number one, if you let people bother you, and you don't know they could be going to an emergency of some sort. You don't know why they're zipping in front of you or what it is. Just breathe and send them on with love. Because if you let that upset you first thing in the morning, your whole day, you're starting off on that feeling of, oh, can't believe that idiot driving, blah, blah, blah. No, just, okay, you must need the road more than I do, and just send them on their way. These are 15 things that you can practice that are compassionate acts. And they do make a difference. They make a difference in your life. They make a difference in the world. And that has that ripple effect, the tidal wave effect. So here's the caution. Some side effects of compassion may include lifted spirits, a feeling of connection to those around you, greater mindfulness, and reduced depression. Can we all use some of that? Can we all use some of that? So just practice these little things every day. Just really see people. Recognize that every person you're looking at is a reflection of that oneness. You are also beautiful, and you are also magnificent. And let that magnificence shine. Let you be that light wherever you go. We are this faith community, and we are the changers of this world. We are creating a world that works for everyone, and it needs to work for us too. And what that means is that the more the mirror effect, the more love that we send out in the world, not that we're expecting, well, where's mine? Okay, I send it out. No. Just be that love, and then just be aware of all the gifts you do have coming to you, all the beautiful people that you have in your life. I never leave my children or even talk to them or any of my family members without saying to them before I hang up, I love you. And it's not just a habit. I really feel it, really feel that, because I want to know that if something happens to me or something happens to them in the physical, that the last thing I ever said to them that they knew was, I love you. And so I want to say to each of you, I love you.
And we love you.
Thank you. So let's say our affirmation. Today I celebrate my oneness with all of life. I bring compassion into action in this day, and love becomes my way. I'm telling you, let us have love become our way in everything we do, in the way we listen to each other, the way we communicate with each other. When we see, as Harold said in his song, we see negative things on the news or on the radio. Just send it love. Know that something good is coming. We don't understand it, and it may not seem the way we want it to be. But the more negativity we send out into the world, speaking it, feeling it, discussing it, the more we make it real. So let us talk about love. Let us talk about compassion. Let us be that love. Let us be that compassion. And so ends your lesson. Thank you.
Thank you. You just can't go wrong with love, ever, ever. Thank you, Reverend Laura. We love you. So great. Well, this is the time where we collect our love offerings, so go ahead and prepare your love offering. And we do appreciate anything that you can give, as Reverend Laura was saying, and it is also good to be aware that you guys make this center run with your love, with your attendance, with your contributions, so we appreciate all that you can give. And if you are live streaming, I think you have to text. Does anybody know the answer? Is there a PayPal or a text? I don't know. Okay, I'm not sure if we fixed the PayPal or if you have to text your love offering in, but we appreciate whatever you can give as well. And so let's go ahead and say our prayer. Let's go ahead and say our prayer. There we go. Let's say together, I give my offering with gratitude as I recognize the demonstration of Spirit's generosity in all areas of my life.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Thank you. And let's say a blessing over this money. We'll say together, this collective offering is Spirit in action. As it circulates into the universe, it touches and blesses many lives, including my own. And so it is. Thank you. If this is the first time you've ever attended our center, we would like to give you a gift. So if you could stand up, we can find you and give you a CD. Oh, wow, yay. Welcome. Right on. Oh, I love it. I love it. Welcome. Well, we are an open, loving center, and we would love for you to make our center your spiritual home. You have been given some information about our center, and if you go to the desk in the foyer area, they will give you a CD with one of Dr. Joe's talks on it. And as you can see, this is a place where we just are what we are, and we love deeply, and we believe in Spirit in however it works for a person. So welcome. Following this service, we have our practitioners over in the Om Room, and they will pray for you if you're going through a challenge, or if you just want some good mojo on something that's coming up that you just want to have in your life. They are there for you. I know it says there's 2 people out there, but I think there's more. So go over there. It only takes a minute to change your life. That's all it takes, and they're wonderful people. This is our calendar for the week. We've got Reverend Laura's class on Tuesday. We've got an Alzheimer's support group on Wednesday. I've got my Sacred Circle in the morning, and then Michael and I are teaching his Heartlight class in the evening. There's a really nice AA meditation meeting on Friday, and Saturday we have a meditation for anybody that's into that, because we love to be in that silence. And so that's it for me for now. I want to thank everybody that came this morning, that just went into that heat and humidity and is here to celebrate Spirit and your magnificence. And I want to thank Harold and the band and Jerry Lynn for blessing us so beautifully with their inspiring, heart-opening music. Reverend Laura for always showing up big time and inspiring us. The people in the office, Steve and Elizabeth and Julie, William and everybody in the back there, I know they don't like me to say their names, but for them to keep the ball rolling behind the scenes so that we have light and music and slides that work. And for the practitioners and ministers who bless you guys and you don't even know it. And Dr. Joe, who is such a pillar of love and wisdom and action, and that keeps this center running in a wonderful way. And that's all I have to say today, because I think the only thing left now is to pray and pray big. So I invite you to close your eyes and just join me in that awareness. The awareness that God is all there is. And as we just allow ourselves to soak in what we have just been allowed to experience, the love of God, the joy that is everywhere present, as our eyes were opened in a big way today, to see that love is the answer, and that love never dies, and that love dwells within our heart and soul. And so we hook into that truth. And we become compassion and action this week as we are kind and loving to all beings, including ourselves, as we let go of grievances and judgments, as we let go of how we think things are supposed to be, what people are supposed to say, and we just open up to what is and see that all is God in action and that we are all doing the best that we can on this earth. And so as we connect with each other in our oneness and see Spirit dwelling within all hearts and souls, and to love unconditionally, to open the door for somebody that's a stranger, to be the light of God everywhere that we walk. I just know how very blessed we are when we walk in that consciousness, when we let God into our hearts and be fully and completely expressed through every thought, word, and deed that comes from us. And just knowing what a wonderful world we are co-creating when we stand in love. And so knowing that blessings abound for us this week and for all beings on this planet, I am knowing that we leave here fulfilled with the joy of Spirit. And we walk the walk and we talk the talk. And so knowing this is complete and all is unfolding in its right and perfect way, I release my word into that perfect law of mine, knowing it is done. And so please join me as we say together, and so it is. Amen. Have a wonderful week, and thank you for joining us today.
People all over the world, join in, start a love train, love train. People all over the world, join in, start a love train, love train. Next time that we make, we'll leave them. Tell all the folks in Russia and China too. Don't you know that it's time to get on board and let this train keep on riding, riding on through? People all over the world, join in, start a love train, a love train. People all over the world, join in, start a love train, a love train. All of our brothers over in Africa, tell all the folks in Egypt and Israel too. Please don't miss this train at the station, 'cause if you miss it, I feel sorry.